Hey guys, it's Jamethon here, and I'm bringing you Volume 4 of Jammin with Jamethon. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at some more Beacon Rush gameplay on the maps Rome, Yamma, and Valley. We're going to look at our base map strats, as well as the core concepts and map priorities. And we're going to see some enemy maneuvers and how we adjust to them and how we respond, and using our core concepts to kind of hold us up. So first map is Rome, and as you can see, it's a full-on assault on city and center. So dropping in on Rome, and as we can see, we're going against a full squad here, chosen. And first thing I want to do is just get up to that crossing and start rooting as many as I can, and then hit cover right away and go straight to that beacon. So you can see that we got all the pack attack here with Striders, Hellburners, and some dragons. And you know, we just trying to clear the area because this is high priority. It's such an important beacon. A lot of reds and enemy clans will recognize it as well, but we try to put a heavier emphasis for us. So we got several guys just sitting on the beacon, and you know, we just don't want to give way. And those embers and those striders, they can hurt. You can see we're all just focus firing all these invaders and not giving it up easy. So on this map, it's okay. We're okay with going down 2 to 3 on the beacons, because as long as we can secure city, we get our home beacon along the way. And then after everything is cleared out, we want to fan out. You know, we want to not stay too clumped. You know, sometimes that will happen every now and then. We try not to let it happen, but if it does, fan out immediately. So I dropped Invader just to, you know, in case I was a little concerned. I didn't make sure I wanted to clear the area out. And immediately I go after the enemy home beacon, partly because we were on comms and someone called out that the enemy was pushing our home beacon. So push and pull concept, right? Want to trade off at the very least and not go down 1-4. So Sand was in his Invader, so we did a 2-prong attack. Tess and Ted, they went home to dress the enemy there, and if I recall correctly, Logan and Lottie were working on center. So, you know, we're spreading out, we're trying to attack on multiple fronts, we're teaming up, you know, and we don't want to make it easy. And our core concepts are what hold us up together. Core concepts like focus firing or blocking for each other, even when we're not all in Aries, and prioritizing who's the main target. So main target usually is the guy shooting your teammate like now, so that's why I'm shooting him and coordinating with Logan. Take out him first, and then we can work on the next guy where we have some more cover. So just doing our best to dance around a little bit, not make it easy, and rinse and repeat. And on small maps like this, as you see with the beacon bar, I know it's hard to, you know, from only one person's perspective, but we reclaimed home, we got center, and you know, every time we take a beacon, it's one less respawn point, especially on this game mode, Beacon Rush. So they keep, you know, backing up, and they get clumped, and we continue to have a firm grip, a firm choke point. And as everyone knows, that's how fast it can go on Beacon Rush if you're not careful. So you know, it's pretty much game over here. But as you can see, the emphasis on city is so important for us because, and I'm sure a lot of clans recognize it, but for us especially, because, you know, it's important. It allows you cover to assault enemy home, or go back to address your home, or even attack center. And on farm side, it's just one beacon, and there's, you know, not as much cover. So great job, guys. It was just like, it was pretty easy for us. So Yamma is the next map, and as you can see, it's a full-on rush on center with a steal option on the bridge. We want to, you know, center is important, but we want to hold the side high ground if we can on the bridges and set up those nice crossings. We're dropping in, and it looks like we got the new Mad Clan, and you know, we always kind of want to have one option on the bridge where the enemy beacon is in front, in light of, or just in case the enemy goes all out on center. So I'm playing the steal option, or the rogue, whatever you want to call it, and I'm not using all my dashes because I gotta save up to get ready to really catch them off guard. We noticed on the left that there's a forcing the enemy player. He's on the big bridge. And when I get up to center, you know, I'm throwing my locking mechanism, or module, I'm sorry, and trying to support center guys as much as I can with a different angle, and with just like my Ember can do, you know, quite a number on them. So anyways, I noticed that they did go all out center, so I go for it. I use all my dashes, and in hopes of trying to get a really early steal and really putting the enemy back on their, you know, on their backs pretty much. But if you can't notice with the beacon bar, the enemy also, the guy earlier, the dragon on top of the big bridge, that was their steal option, and they went after our home flank beacon and they took it. So we traded flank beacons, and you know, you're not always going to get everything you want in the way that you want it. That's why we have different priorities, and you know, it's a counterpunch. Anyways, so I'm dropping back an invader because on this map, since it's so big, it's hard to retake beacons. So we do have center, and we'd have our home, and we have the enemy flank. And you know, if on any map or any game mode, whenever you die, especially if it's beacon rush, your #1 priority should always be, is my area okay before I spawn elsewhere? So for me, that's always my mindset, and I feel like that's a normal mindset before you like stack a side or you leave a side hanging, because that's your first priority, you know, to make sure your side's okay. Anyways, this map's going to be not at your typical setup because we have 3 very different areas where we have beacons, and you know, my job right now is to guard the enemy flank. You know, I was the guy here. I know what's going on, and I gotta hold them back. And part of it is just trusting my teammates to hold the home beacon as well as center, and the 2 guys over there to a combination of those 4 guys to assault in our home flank and maybe win it back. But we are however up 3-2, so we don't have to take it back. We just got to hold what we can and see what the enemy movements are, and just adjust. You know, it's never exactly how you envision it might go sometimes, and it's our core concepts that hold us up in all these maps, in these situations when we're not on comms. That's why we talk about core concepts, things such as teaming up or working together, or different angles, or you know, Ares team ups, or focus fire, or you know, priority, which enemy to kill first. These are all core concepts that we talk about, and how to support each other. So the more you understand that, the more these smaller battles that we're having will come out the victors, with them dying and us surviving, and us getting ahead on the mech out, you know, because that's a huge part of it. So you can see here, I'm teaming up with Lottie. I think Logan went elsewhere, and you know, we're not gonna, realistically, we weren't gonna push to their home, but we're just trying to pressure and extend our battle line as far away from our beacon as possible. So, you know, I'm taking a look here at the map. I just wanted to make sure center was okay. You know, we have 3 guys addressing it, and it's a lot of coordination, you know, because everyone's so split up. You can't just, the biggest mistake to do in situations like these is what we call the knee-jerk reaction. We can't have all 5 or 6 guys all drop in the same area. That's a big no-no. A big part of it is trust. I mean, if you see 3 guys versus 2 in an area, you gotta trust your teammates to take care of it and continue holding your area, because they're gonna come at it if they don't see anyone there. So, you know, that's all about map awareness, understanding your priorities, understanding your responsibilities, and assessing the threat. So anyways, I'm in my dragon now, and yeah, I'm up against an invader. I had to fly up there. It's always hard for a dragon to hold on to the beacon because he's up in the air, so I just made sure I was hovering right above as best as I could, and try to team up with Lottie here and focus fire as best as we can. Anyways, they start meching out, and you know, we had to win that the untraditional way, but it worked out, and I think everyone did a really good job. Communication was important, and teaming up is important. So great job, everyone. So next map is Valley for Beacon Rush, and as you can see, it's a two-prong attack on center and enemy flank beacon. You know, we want to prioritize these beacons because center is always important, and the flank beacons on this map because everything's very tight and together, so it would be easy to reinforce and support one another. So my task on this map, I was going off after the enemy flank. I am dropped in my strider, and as you can see, I'm dashing my way. I see the Hellburner, so I immediately start shooting at him, lead my Ember, and throw my locking module. Got him locked down, so I immediately switched targets to the Dragon, and the beacon flipped blue. So we achieved what we wanted to get, and this is why speed's important, because you're participating in the early 10 to 15 seconds of the map, and that's why we try to tell everyone to have some speed. And right now that's a Strider, Hellburner, and Dragon, because if you go after those contested beacons, you can really pin them back and set the tone and really have a good rally choke point early on and not let them recover if possible. So that's what we did, but you know, part of it is, you know, catching the steal options, catching the rogue players that rush elsewhere on the map, and that's all part of the coordination and teamwork and understanding. So anyways, I had dropped Invader because they were all over the beacon still, and just wanted to for sure win it. Otherwise I would have dropped my Ares, like the second round Ares thing we have in place. And as you can see, the enemy went back and stole our home beacon there, and our back home beacon, so that was unfortunate. Typically on any map, if you're the first to die and everything's under control, it's not a bad idea to spawn at home and run over and grab our back beacon. Or if you're during the rush and you notice there's a steal option that's kind of like lingering off to the side, you can probably guess that he's probably thinking about, can I steal it or not? And if center looks under control and you don't feel like you need to help, then maybe if you're the closest guy, then maybe you're the guy that keeps them in check from stealing. So these are all situational calls. These are all like in-game reads, variations of the base strat. Anyways, when I was in center, I was in my Ares, and I decided to go to try to grab our home beacon. And you know, part of me, I had to trust my teammates to be able to hold center, or maybe, you know, hoping that they could contain it, but the enemy did a good job taking center. So here I'm just dashing in. My bot's almost dead, so I took a gamble here to see maybe if I can actually flip it white. But so now we got the perimeter beacons. They took center back. That was a good counter punch by them, push and pull on their part. And you know, as you saw in my bots, I'm on my 4th bot already, and it's 7 minutes in, so I was really aggressive, and you know, sometimes that will happen, so you really need to slow it down when that happens. So my thought is, I'm gonna go over by our flank beacon and just defend at least one beacon and support as best as I can with my 600-meter weapons. So I'm looking, and here I decided to peek because I noticed Lottie is in on center trying to flip it, so it's like, alright, I'm gonna step up and really try to support him. But Lottie went down, so I'm trying to back up in my retribution and get some more cover, get ready to rinse and repeat again, and just work on the mech out as best as I can. I'm looking, and I noticed that center's kind of being approached by Ted, so I take another peek here, and just like Lottie, I was trying to get up and help him, but Ted went down. I took a look to my left and noticed, alright, Tess is in his Ares. I'm going to step up a little bit. I know I'm on my 4th bot, but maybe we can get an Ares train going here. So I'm not committing to center. I'm just trying to put pressure, and Tess jumps in, and here comes Ted. So great. Ted is in his Aries, and now we have 3 Aries train here, and that's a really strong combo. So even though I'm on my 4th bot, it's a gamble worth taking, because we can really put some pressure and maybe put a mark on the game here at a turning point, at a climax. So we're rotating. You know, everyone's doing great. If your shield's going away, back up. If you're the next person, start stepping forward, block for your teammates. Really, you have to step forward so they can stand behind you. And then here, I saw Ted backing up. It was my turn, so I stepped up. And we've got this cycle, and there's nothing they can do. I mean, unless you got an invader or something can jump on top of us, they've got to respect it, and they can't just rush in, because they're gonna die. So we're just keeping the cycle going, and it's pretty much game over. There was a few trade-offs there on beacons, and you can see, even though we had a great start, they were able to keep themselves alive with the steal option. And you know, when that happens, you've got blue and red beacons intermingled, and there's no you know, there's many battle fronts you have to fight on, and sometimes you have to hold and just wait for the right moment, and sometimes you go for it, but hopefully you're not being too reckless. So anyways, I hope this video helps see some exchanges with the enemy and some in-game thinking and adjustments, and I hope to help. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully you were able to pick up on some stuff. If you got any comments or questions, we can definitely go over them on Discord. Jamethon out.